What is happening, Minnesota Vikings, man? 28, and today we're going over the Vikings 2019-2020 season review. So let's get right into it. So first off, I want to say that, didn't end up the way we wanted it to, always going for that Super Bowl that we always desire. But we did make some progress from last season. We did make the playoffs and won a playoff game. So let's get right into the regular season first and foremost. So first game against the Atlanta Falcons, we won, dominating on both offense and defense, and the only good game from Xavier Rhodes. He can only cover Julio Jones for whatever reason. Week 2 against the Green Bay Packers, went down early 21-0, then started slowly coming back with Dalvin Cook in the run game, and then once we got to 21-16, Kirk Cousins, for whatever reason, took the ball in first and goal, threw it in the end zone for an interception. That's what ended the game. Could have, taken the lead and maybe held Aaron Rodgers once more, but that did not happen. So yeah, that really cost us in terms of getting a chance to win the division. Week 3 against the Oakland Raiders, totally demolished them at home. That was a great win. Week 4 against Chicago, after Trubisky went down, we lost to Chase Daniel. Yeah, their defense really dominated, like last year. Oh, man, if Mitch Trubisky would have stayed in, we could have maybe won that game. That's how I think of Mitch Trubisky. And then Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen called Kirk Cousins out. And that's when Kirk Cousins' October began. His NFC Offensive Player of the Month by winning every single game in October. So first one was the New York Giants, getting to Adam Thielen a lot. Dalvin Cook running efficiently, won 28-10. Philadelphia Eagles game was the Stephon Diggs game, getting 2 deep touchdowns, winning 38-20. And then the Detroit Lions in Detroit, Thielen gets hurt, but scores a touchdown, keeping up with the Detroit Lions, who had a great offense that year until Matthew Stafford got hurt. Their defense was horrendous, so we took advantage of that, won 42-30. And then at home, Thursday Night Football against the Redskins, very close for most of the game, and Adrian Peterson coming back, and he actually did pretty decent on that day, and Case Keenum. But once Keenum went down, Haskins had to take the realm in the second half. Yeah, Haskins did not look so good. We won 19-9, closer than it should have been, but of course it was a short week. Then the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes was out. Matt Moore was in. We had so many chances to win that game, kept it too close for too long, and then Kansas City swooped in and made their plays, torched our secondary, especially Tyreek Hill, and also Damian Williams had a long touchdown, which really doesn't happen to us that often. But yeah, Week 10 in Dallas, our prime time win. Of course, it was the Dallas Cowboys. At that time, it seemed very good until figured out that the Dallas Cowboys did not make the playoffs and how bad they did. But either way, a prime time win against a great offense that we did not do so good of stopping, but made the plays when we need to. Week 11 against the Broncos, got down 20-0. Looked like everything was down. It was looking like Buffalo from last year, but then the Broncos did what Broncos did this season and blew leads. So we won 27-23 and stopped them on the final play. Week 12, we had a bye. Good time to have a bye. Week 13, going to Seattle. Kirk Cousins, it was Monday Night Football, but he balled out. The defense couldn't do anything. Rhodes and the rest of the secondary, well, I should say the cornerbacks, they had no answer, and we couldn't stop the run game with Chris Carson either. Week 14 against the Detroit Lions. This was when Matthew Stafford was injured. This was in U.S. Bank Stadium. Did our job. Week 15 at Los Angeles. 7 turnovers against the Chargers. We made Philip Rivers a mess. And won 39-10 very convincingly. Week 16, Dalvin Cook was injured. Yeah, we wanted to rest him up for the playoffs, and without Dalvin Cook, our offense couldn't do anything. 23-10 loss. Week 17 against the Bears, locked in the 6th seed. Did not play our starters, had our second stringers go out, almost won the game. Mitch Trubisky coming off with one final drive to get them a game-winning field goal, but that was very embarrassing by the Bears, keeping it that close. So now let's get to the playoffs. So playoffs, New Orleans Saints, we won 26-20 in overtime. No one believed in us. I certainly, did not think we could do it. I thought we would maybe get close, but yeah, Mike Zimmer putting the defensive ends in the middle, rushing it up the middle, getting to Drew Brees, making him throwing deep. Anthony Harris getting interception. Drew Brees fumbling it in close to the red zone. Really held them to very low scoring until the fourth quarter, where they did make a comeback where the offense sort of stalled a little bit. But then once we got the ball in overtime, Kirk Cousins went down the field, getting a long pass to Adam Thielen to the 2-yard line, and then, of course, the Rudolph touchdown on 3rd and goal. And then divisional round, playing the number 1 seed San Francisco 49ers. You know how that went. First half did not look looked promising. Having only, a 4-point deficit at the half, but at the same time, you knew the offense was not looking that very good. We got a lucky one with Stephon Diggs, and the 49ers offense, Tevin Coleman. It wasn't Raheem Mostert that did the job against our defense, rushing over 100 yards. But yeah, offense couldn't do anything. Offense line, I say, couldn't do anything, which made Dalvin Cook very inept. So 27-10 loss was the final. So overall improvement year. Hopefully we can get to the conference championship or even the Super Bowl next season. So now I'm going to do my top 3 offensive defensive players. So first one, number 3 is Stephon Diggs for the offense. 1,130 yards, 6 touchdowns on 63 receptions. Now, of course, a little bit inflated because Adam Thielen was injured for many games, so Stephon Diggs was our number 1 receiver. And Kirk Cousins, the one throwing the ball, is my number 2 offensive player. 3,603 yards, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Had one of his better seasons. Hopefully, if you can make less mistakes, we can do good. We can make it farther next season. So, yeah, cross my fingers for Kirk Cousins. And, of course, number 1, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook holds his team, holds the offense together. Without Dalvin Cook being efficient, makes us very one-dimensional. So, it is, what it is. Okay. So, number 3 defensive player is Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter, 14.5 sacks. Gets the quarterback, and he had 3 forced fumbles. Very great by him. He was actually tied, that I saw, for the team for forced fumbles alongside Harrison Smith. Eric Hendricks is tied for number 1 for me. Couldn't really pick a defensive player. Eric Hendricks, of course, number 1 grade linebacker. So why? So like you're asking, why is he tied with number 1? Why isn't he your definitive number 1? Which is because there was another player that had a great season, a breakout season, in my opinion. So Eric Hendricks, by the way, got 70 total tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and a half sack. So Anthony Harris, 6 interceptions, tying the league for the season with Stephon Gilmore, and I can't think of the other player's name from the Bills, but he had a great season. Better than Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith will always be good, but Anthony Harris is up and coming. He is fast, and he really can do good in coverage. Even got an interception against Drew Brees in the playoffs, which really helped. So, yeah. So, yeah, this is the Vikings 2019-2020 review. Ended up 10-6, even though last game, really didn't try. Made the playoffs, won a playoff game against the Saints yet again. and getting to the divisional round. So it's good enough for me for right now, but just need to do better next season. This has been Minnesota Vikings fan 28th, and as always, Skol.